Welcome to the Imagine Media Lab Presents Women in Entrepreneurship. I am your host, Tywan Lee, and this is my co-host,
Aronda Young.
Women Entrepreneurship Limited Series is brought to you by the second annual EmpowHER Conference. It is my pleasure to introduce our guest today. I know why she's here and why she's special. And once this interview is over, you're going to understand it as well. I want to introduce you to the innovative, courageous, dynamic Rita Ricks.
Yes.
Hello, ladies. It's really good seeing both of you. I'm very excited about being here.
We're excited to have you here.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, Rita, I know why you're wonderful. But can you give our viewers a glimpse into who Rita Ricks is?
So, I am a spiritual business coach. And what I do is show women how to remove the barriers preventing them from creating the life they were born to live. And we all have barriers. Everybody has a barrier, something that they heard, something somebody said to them years ago, something they were told years ago, and they've held on to it. And I had one. And it actually took a spiritual coach to help me to realize it. So for over 50 years, I was carrying this barrier. It was living rent-free in my head. I had no idea about it, but she just kept telling me, you're holding back, Rita. There's something else. I'm going, oh, no, I'm at the top of my game. I know what I'm doing. Everything's great. She said, no, you're holding back. And once we realized and brought up this barrier and dismissed it, destroyed it, removed it from my thinking, I'm here today. I am here today. Yeah. So that's what I do. I want women to walk in their brilliance.
Yeah.
And as we evolve daily, we need to be intentional about evolving because we are leaving a legacy regardless. So why not be intentional and focused on what we're leaving for those that are coming behind us? And so it is important that I show women how to be intentional, how to feel what's happening, how to be aware of what's going on around us, how to be present, and how to maintain joy.
Wow.
You give women the permission
I do.
to take up space.
That's
yes.
good, Ty.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
good.
you
Yeah.
do. You do.
Yeah,
You
take
do.
up your space
Yes.
and own
Amen.
your voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I have a question for you, Rita.
All right.
When did you realize your calling or your gift? When did you realize how old were you? Or
So, that's interesting because when I was a junior in high school, and it was never a question of if I were going to college. It was just where. And so I remember asking my mom, well, what should I major in? Because that's all I knew about college. You majored in something. And she said, well, you like people. You probably should major in sociology. And that's what I did. And that I loved the sociology classes because I do enjoy studying people. I think that's why I love movies so much. I watch a movie for all that's being said, that's not being said, and how people, handle themselves. So I graduated from Virginia State and ended up in a teaching position. And I taught for 15 years.
wow.
But that was also interesting because with 6th and 7th graders, they're like young adults.
Yeah.
And then when they get to be adults, they're like 6th and 7th graders. And so I was able to really learn a lot from those students. And when I decided to leave teaching, because every year the 6th grade, they kept coming. Every year was a new batch of kids. And it was like, they are never going to stop coming. And I need to do
Different face
something
with same
else.
situations.
Yeah, I need to do something else. And so I opened a fashion boutique
Oh.
where I realized that women will purchase whatever they want. Doesn't matter how much it costs. Doesn't matter. If it's something they want, they're going to get it. And so I learned to pay attention to what they were saying about where they were going, more so than what they were going to purchase. But how did they want to look? What was the outcome of this outfit that they were going to buy? And so that was really good. Sociology helped me with that. And I had this boutique for 2.5 years, and then I moved into image consulting. I got certified as an image consultant. And so the Virginia Lottery was my first client. I dressed the on-air personalities from the waist up. So their hair and their nails and I don't know if they had pajamas at the bottom. That was not my job. I just was responsible. Loved it, hired a couple of people. Again, still learning about folks and who they are. And then I opened Mirror Enterprise at that time. So my company was Mirror Enterprise, a professional and personal development training company.
Wow.
And we trained. We trained. We worked on the professional part, the image, but we also worked on the inside with how you think. So even back then, even in the early, because I opened the company in 85, even back then I'm like, what's going on with folks and why do they sit in the back of the room and why are the people who are really supposed to be listening, that the person created the training for, they were absent, they were sick that day. So, I'm always studying people. And I loved Mirror. I had it for about 21 years. And in that time, we taught over 3,000 individuals coming off of welfare going into work.
Oh, wow.
And so we had an actual 4-week training. We had 4 sites around the city. And it was wonderful because I learned so much from them, So I had my staff and everything was, I loved that time. My daughter was my COO and things were going really smoothly. But I have to tell you, I know this saying is when you feel comfortable, you're not growing. I get that. Because it was it started to be so easy that it was starting to be frustrating because we were doing kind of the same thing.
Okay.
And when that contract was over, I turned Mirror over to her and I said, I'm going to be a life coach. I want to work with people day to day or individually as opposed to groups. But here's the thing. There were a couple things. One was that people thought I had retired. And so I was like out of sight, out of mind. And 2, there was this 2008 recession that really, who knew it was coming? And it was the grace of God that kept me in my home and kept me with my car. But I also was like walking around in circles. What am I supposed to do now? Because I didn't really feel the life coaching. I had been to some meetings. I had done some. I wasn't feeling it. And I ended up over at Richmond Hill, which is an ecumenical center.
Yes.
And they offer a 2-year course on becoming a spiritual director.
Oh.
I took that time to spiritual direct myself and figure out who I am. So I went in 2009 as a life coach. I came out 2011 as a spiritual coach and have been doing that ever since.
That's awesome.
So that was a long answer for
Oh
a
no,
short
that's
question.
Perfect.
Your
But
answer.
but I just see my career as, I've just been following the path.
Yes.
And to be where I am now, when I talk with entrepreneurs and I say, you have to have a vision, but the vision has to pull you. You can't be pushed by it because then you might not be going in. I so feel pulled. Every day. And I mean, just to see the two of you, because I've worked with you.
I know.
And it's like, looking at you all, I am being pulled by this, which makes it all the more easy because it's not about a lot of thinking. I do believe in silence. I absolutely believe in taking time to be silent. I say all the time that the solution is in the silence.
Yes.
So you have to get quiet in order to hear the answer to what it is you need next.
Yes.
So we're human beings. We're not human doings. And so we don't have to always do.
Right.
But we do always have to be
That's true.
quiet.
Yes. Yes, and I thank you for that because you taught me how to be quiet.
Good, good,
Yes.
good.
Yeah, teaching me to be quiet is a task. So we met 4 years ago. And I remember went to St. Paul's church.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to be there. Something, God is telling me that I need to be there. And you said something that has stuck with me. And you stood up and you said, I'm looking for seekers. And I'm like, I'm seeking. She must be looking for me. And I knew that I needed to sit down and I needed to talk to you. Because you're right. We're so polluted with all the noise around us. And silence was so important in getting back in alignment with, with your purpose and what you want to do, and to drown that noise out.
Yeah.
And you had the simplest fix.
Yeah.
At least it sounded simple until I started doing
Yeah,
it.
so you started
And it was
working
real
on
work.
Oh, yeah.
It was real work.
Working on you.
So there is a difference between a spiritual coach
Yes.
and just a regular
Yeah. Life coach.
a life coach. Can you explain the difference between the two?
Yeah.
Yes, because a life coach is looking at one part of you. They're honed in on your resume, or they're honed in on different facets of your body. At least the life coaches that I was looking at, because they're in business. They were in corporations and the like. And so they want to come in there for 20 minutes and they want to make sure you get these goals done, and I'll see you next week and we're going to look at the objectives. And that never worked for me. I want to work on your mind, your body, and your spirit.
Yeah. Yes.
And so particularly with entrepreneurs, we can't separate who we are from our business. We are our business. The business moves based on who we are, how we're thinking, how we're feeling, And so it is the spirit that we came here with and that we will leave with.
Yes.
And so it's who we are. And most women will just continue to push the spirit down, working, trying to do for others,
Right.
Trying to make sure everybody else is all right, and not focusing on ourselves.
That's so
And I
true.
think the spirit is the essence of who we are.
Yeah.
And so if we work on our mind with how we think
Yes.
and what we say, and if we work on our spirit in believing whose we are and who we
Yes.
are, and our body, the exercise, the eating right.
Yes.
My pastor says, whatever you put in your mouth sends a message to some part of your body. Yo,
Wow.
everything you put it sends a message. And so that's what I say. We have to be intentional about every day, because we're not going to get this day back.
That's
And
true.
if we are so busy thinking about yesterday, when we can't do anything about it, or concerned about tomorrow, which may not come, we lose the essence of today and all
Yes.
that it has to offer us.
Yes.
So we have to be present and intentional and focused
Yes.
and tie in alignment.
Yes.
In alignment. And when you're in alignment, you feel it. You feel, because you're being pulled. You're just being guided. You're just being led.
Yes.
And it's a wonderful feeling. And so you can go to sleep at night because everything is fine. And you can also get up in the morning trusting that who you are is going to be fine today.
Yes. Absolutely.
Perfect. That's right.
So when you was starting, who was your biggest cheerleader? Who encouraged you the most when you actually decide, okay, this is what I want to do?
Me being the spiritual coach.
Being a spiritual coach, Who was your biggest cheerleader? Oh,
God.
yes.
Going right to the top.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's wonderful,
because that, during that class in those 2 years, I surrendered. I let go. I stopped
have
trying
to.
to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because when I went to that class, it was rock bottom time. Like I said, people didn't know me. I was getting some clients, enough obviously to pay for my home, but I was in a circle. And I ended up at Richmond Hill simply because I didn't know where else to go. And so in those 2 years was when I connected with God because of the silences. We were asked to spend 6 24-hour silences in that 2-year period.
Wow.
And I had never done that before.
Yeah.
So from 4 o'clock Friday until 4 o'clock Saturday, we would wear a sign saying we were silent. And we didn't talk to anybody, which was great because that already lets go of some of the noise,
Yes.
And there are all kinds of places you could go at Richmond Hill just to be quiet. I started taking flip charts with me.
Okay.
Because the ideas were coming so fast
Wow.
that I had to write them down. When you're quiet,
Yes.
you start to there's no more noise, there's for real. And the last silence in April of 11 was when I chapel was finishing, and I just started to cry and could not stop crying. And my classmates were going, "Are you all right?" And I'm going, "Yes, yes, yes." But it was bad. And I realize now that was the letting go. That was the purging. That was the, okay, God, I got this. I am going to leave it and walk away. And so that's, I know God is my biggest cheerleader.
That's awesome. Yes. Cool.
That is so powerful. And you're right. When you're in alignment and you're living your purpose and you're living and doing what it is that God intends you to do, then you're right. Everything else just lines up.
It does.
Yeah.
It's like flowing, Early on, I used to think when things are good, I can see me, in an inner tube going down the river, and people are on the side and they're just waving and the sun is shining. That was my vision, just going down the river. When things got hard, all of a sudden there was ice on the mountain and I'm climbing up and everything's frozen and I keep slipping, don't know where this came from, but that was my image. And nobody was out there. And so then when I would feel myself doing that, I'd go into silence.
Okay.
It's like, I don't know what's going on, but I shouldn't be climbing. I should be able to float like this. Yeah.
That's cool.
So do any of your clients come back and say something to you that affirms that you were there at the right moment? I know that I can, But do you have any proud moments when you get that affirmation from your clients?
I do, all the time, all the time. Sometimes it's more than one thing, because I can hear them. I just, as they're talking, I can hear them and I go, look at this, from where you were and where you are. I can just hear it. I can see it, even in the way they dress. Even in the way they dress. I had one client who came, I'll never forget, and just was looking kind of beat up, and coming in. And I had a little footstool and I said, do you want to put your, rest your feet on that? Yeah, and just kind of sitting back in the chair. And we were I've forgotten how long we were supposed to be together. But after about 4 sessions, she called me and she said, I got this. I figured it out. It's on me to do whatever I want to do.
Look at that.
Well, look at that. Look at that. And the next time she came, she was dressed. Makeup was on. Moved the stool out of the way. Sitting up. It was a whole new person. And so I think about her often in that's how I want my clients to feel,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, you answered that question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good. That's fine. So the next question would be, what is? We all have why stories. What is your why story? You might have pretty much covered it, but
No, my why. I mean, I'm going to be 75 really soon, so I've got to really pay attention to these years. Not that I didn't before, but I'm for real paying attention to them now. And I have 2 amazing granddaughters, amazing granddaughters, who this year will be 21 and 25.
Wow.
So they are women, and
Yes.
I am so grateful to be there for them. I adore their moms. I'm so proud of who their moms are and where they are in their lives.
Yeah.
And these 2 young ladies that I call my granddaughters are following in their footsteps. And so they are my why.
Wow.
They are my why. And so I think about the age only in the sense of this is what I still need to accomplish. And Shirley Crawford is my coach. And I saw her today and I said, when we meet Thursday, I've got this vision that I want to talk with you about, so that I want to move forward and I need your input. So let me just mention that because we're at the Women's Business Center and
RVA.
RVA.
Yes.
And I'm
Yes.
so grateful to Ty, who sent me an invitation. And I was at another co-gather place, and she sent me the invitation, and I said, okay, I'll come, because one of her visions when I was working with her was to have this space, So when she called, she said, Rita, it's me, it's Ty. This is the space I was talking about. And I came over here, and I could feel the pull, if you will.
Yeah.
And I went home. And I think I said I'd call you. Oh, I think I said I'd call you back in October.
Right. I was walking around, making sure everybody was comfortable,
Yeah.
and making sure that that everyone knew, I was being the perfect hostess.
Yeah.
And I looked over, and you were in deep thought, and I was like, "Are you okay?" He was like, "Yeah." And you said, "I think I'm supposed to be here."
Yeah, I mean, I could feel it. And I told him, maybe 4 weeks, 6 weeks. I think it was about 7 hours later. I just went, you know what? I'm coming. I'm going to move over here because I see that you have to be around like-minded people.
Yes.
And that's what I felt here. And so with Ty, my already knowing her, and with Shirley, who just gave me an interview that was like, didn't I tell you when I like none other, to see if I was a fit, which I
Yes.
love, And so I've been here ever since. And I often say that had it not been for this space and those two women, I don't know if I'd be in business.
Wow.
Which is a really serious statement.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the connection, and with
Gotcha.
your daughter Christina and
Yeah.
and all the people who are in here.
Yes.
That's the thing.
All came
That's
together.
the connection. That's what being an entrepreneur is about. That's what's being a supportive business owner.
Yes.
With others.
Yes.
You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I am a
Absolutely.
firm believer that women entrepreneurs in a room together is just magical. And even coaches need coaches.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Teachers
Absolutely.
need teachers.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
And I'm glad that we were able to create this environment, to nurture the ladies here. And I mean, you becoming a member of the Women's Business Center RVA was in alignment
Yeah.
to everything that we
No
wanted
question.
to have done.
No
here.
question. No
Okay.
question. And so, when somebody was asking me, because I was on a podcast the other day, and they were asking me what was different about our co-gather space. And I said the energy that I feel, most co-gather spaces, not all, but most, you get an office. There you go.
Yep,
and
that is
it's
true.
cute, and you pay for it. This is different.
Yeah.
This is different. I can knock on Ty's door and just say,
Yeah.
"Hey, it's a little funky right now. I'll call Shirley and I'll say, do you want to just walk me off the ledge or just push me off the ledge? What?
We've all been there.
Push me off the ledge." And then Ty,
I'm not going to do it all the time.
yeah,
Hi, Rita.
yeah.
How are you? Can I talk to you?
Yeah. And then just so happened, I was on a call Saturday because I was here, and Ty's name came up on the phone, and I figured I knew what she wanted. She thought she had a client coming in, and just in case she was a little late, I was here. And I could
Yeah.
open the door, so I appreciated that. She
Yes.
called me so we could do that. That's what's working in this space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Having each
pretty
other's
awesome.
back is really important. It really is.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, Rita, what advice would you give our next rising entrepreneurs?
Be silent. Journal.
Yes.
And be intentional.
Wow.
Be
Excellent.
intentional. I mean,
Yes.
because I played around for a long time, and I've said this before. I was an entrepreneur. I have been an entrepreneur most of my life. I wasn't a business owner. And there's a huge difference. And that's what Shirley, amongst others, are teaching me, how to be a business owner. So I have a sustainable business that I can turn over to my girls or sell. So that's the why. You can't just
Yeah.
hand somebody something. And so that's where I am now, which is really exciting. Because I have a team of people, and they are showing me how to stay in my lane. But they do what they're supposed to do in their lane, which takes so much off of me. Which allows me then to have this bigger vision and the goals and the action steps to get there.
Cool. Well, that leads me up to the next question. What can we expect from you and your growing team?
Girl. We on April 9th and 10th. So if this is even shown after then, you're just going to have to go on the website and find out what we did. But April 9th, we're having what's called a Little Black Dress Day Affair for women only. And it's
Yes.
going to be in the afternoon. And we are literally going to talk about reimagining.
Okay.
We're going to wear our black dresses, be cute, and talk
Yes.
about how do we reimagine moving forward. And then on Sunday, we're going to be at the States at River Run, overlooking the James River, and I'm hosting Marcus Johnson, and he and I are going to have conversation along with his Flow Wine, and we're going to pair it with music,
Yeah.
and we're also going to dance. Well, not
Yeah.
he and I, but you know, everybody else is going to be dancing.
Yes.
So it's a weekend like none other. I've never done anything like this before, but trust me, it
Yes.
will not be the last time.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I believe
You're just
it.
getting started.
We are just getting started. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Any reason that we have to get all dressed up and, you know,
Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
I believe it. We need a reason to do it.
That's right. That's
a good way
right.
to
And
celebrate.
the black dress, you know, brings out the class in us, the sophistication. You know, you just feel, you feel in a black
Elevated.
dress. You
Yes.
feel, in a
Yeah.
black dress. Living in our brilliance.
I'm
Yes.
looking forward to it.
I'm glad
Yes,
you
me
guys
too.
are
Can you repeat
coming.
those dates again, please?
April 9th and 10th.
Okay.
Yes, 2 weeks. We have 2 weeks. Tickets are still available at RitaRicks.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's been an
Yes.
absolute pleasure.
Yes, it has.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Introduce one of my favorite people on this planet.
I appreciate
Yes,
it.
absolutely.
I appreciate it, guys.
Yes, you've been a blessing. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you. Thank you for tuning in.
Imagine Media Lab, partnered with the Women's Business Center, offers hourly rental to a multimedia studio. Create or edit digital assets for marketing, record that podcast you've always wanted to start, voiceovers, and live stream. All equipment and software is included in your hourly rental. Located at the Women's Business Center, 1510 Willow Lawn Drive, ImagineMediaLabs.com. Book your session today.